Week 6 is gone. Week 7 is here. So you already know what time it is. It's another episode of All Smoke, All 32 with Aaron Gibbons. Now, to start off my Thursday night picks, I always just trickle back into the last week and make my apologies to the teams that I thought that were going to lose but didn't. And shout out to the New Jersey football teams. That's right, the New Jersey football teams, the Giants and the Jets. I'll put respect on your names. You are New York, but being a real New Yorker, you guys play in New Jersey. I know New York is so cluttered with, the Mets and the Yankees and, having the Wimbledon Stadium. It's so much chaos in the city, but shout outs to you guys. Beating teams that nobody thought that you guys would even come close to beating, including myself, and figuring out a way to change the chapter of the book for your franchises and getting W's against teams that normally own you guys. It's pretty interesting to say the least, and I'm actually excited to see how the season plays out for the Giants and the Jets. Good win by you guys. Bills. I should have known you were going to win. It's just Kansas City was hot. I've been picking against them, and I thought that they could get it done. Patrick Mahomes being the underdog at home for the first time. Way to go, Bills! You're showing that you're arguably the most complete team in the NFL, and definitely hats off to you guys. Chargers. Special teams, man. They could make or break you. And Chargers honestly just got a break in, their special teams player making a play, blocking their opponent into the other to their teammate and making them hit the ball and making a special teams play. I mean, the ball goes either way when it's in overtime, and shout out to the Chargers for finding a way to get it done. And last but not least, the last team I thought that couldn't get it done but got it done is those Pittsburgh Steelers. I had them winning, guys. I put them on my rough draft sheet. I was like, they could do it. Tom Brady went to a wedding. They having these problems. But, I looked at Tomlin's stats and just being horrible against Brady, being a numbers guy a little bit and just figuring in. But something told me, I said, yo, Pitt's going to take it. They're just going to find a way to beat them. They're at home. They're going to rally around Tomlin. But I put the video on and my mindset just went bloop. And yeah. So I gotta start going with my gut more often. And I really apologize to Pittsburgh and their fans because guys, that was an impressive win. Shout out to the Steelers. Now, you already know I gotta do a quick recap of the W's. So shout out to the Pats for beating the Browns handily, like I said. Shout out to the Colts for getting it done, even though I don't care about y'all. Shout out to the Vikes for beating a dismantled Dolphins team. Shout out to the Falcons for getting that woo 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 upset, like I said they would. Shout out to them Bengals for getting that W on the road against the hard Saints team in the Dome. Shout out to them Eagles, still undefeated, the most complete team in the NFL, did they thing, got it done with the division win. Shout out to those Rams, taking care of business, keeping their season alive by beating just a trash Panthers team with honestly one of the worst QBs in the NFL. The guy is barely completing 50% of his passes. We're not even going to mention his name, but yeah, good job, Rams. So, with that being said, let's get to it, shall we? We have Seattle also winning. Can't forget them beating the Cards like I said they would. Shout out to the Hawks. Gino looking solid. Didn't have the best day, but he got the job done. Um, so now let's get into it. We got the Saints at the Cards. Now, both of these teams coming off of losses. It seems like for the most part, we get teams that both come off of losses or both come off of wins. It's pretty interesting that that's been happening on these Monday night games and Thursday night games. But anywho, Cliff Kingsbury, you're in the hot seat, sir. This is a must-win game. You are at home. You are facing a team with the same record as you, and honestly, they have a worse quarterback situation than you do. You paid the man that you think is going to get you to the promised land, and Kyler Murray, and giving him millions of dollars to run around like a chicken with his head cut off, with barely having a line, and doing what Russ did in Seattle. You really have to coach up your team tonight, sir. Winston is getting the start. So this guy honestly should not be doing that great against a solid Cardinals secondary with Murphy and Wilson, which definitely could lock down a shaky receiver core because Chris Olave is out along with Michael Thomas. And so who's catching the ball for the Saints? What they most have to look at and really rely on is their run game that has been working well for them. You know, using the Swiss Army knife and Kamara when he's healthy, doing what he does. But this can really be a game that Cards can take advantage of if they load the blocks, stop the run, and make Winston throw the ball. And if Winston is just throwing the ball, we all know that could go either one or two ways. Very bad or I guess okay. Not really a big believer in Winston. Um, you know, let alone that he's not going to have too much help with the secondary defensive side because they're suspect. The Saints gave up 9 touchdown throws this year, and they only had 1 pick so far. So, I mean, having Anderson, Ertz, Rondell Moore, and now back Nook, my guy DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, it really, really looks like we can have a clear-cut winner here. But the Cards find ways to stay level with teams and not really be able to finish games or find a way to come back and finish games. So I'm really excited to look and see what the Lattimore and Hopkins matchup is going to be like. And I really, really feel the Cardinals are going to take this game. So give me the Cardinals in a close one, 21-17. That's all I have for this episode of All Smoke, All 32. And I can't wait to see you for my Week 7 picks. See ya.